Hey guys, welcome to Series World. Today I'm going to explain a mystery thriller series called Triptych from 2023. Turn on subtitles and spoilers ahead. The third episode opens with a flashback from Becca's childhood. Little Becca is seen drawing three little girls holding hands together. She has always had dreams about having two sisters. She can see what's happening in their lives. At present, she has gone out on a journey to find out the real reason behind the sisters being separated, only to meet now so tragically. The scene cuts to Becca explaining this to Tamara. She then asks Tamara how she and Alita met. Tamara starts telling the story. One day, when she was practicing her performance, Alita came to meet with her. At first, she couldn't believe her eyes, but before they could discuss anything, her partner came and Tamara left with her. By the time she came back, Alita was already gone. Becca is so confused. Like Tamara didn't ask Alita anything and just left like that. Tamara explains that she had some issues with the police, and they came to look for her, thinking she was someone else. The next time she heard from Alita was on her birthday, 9th March. Alita phoned her and told her to meet in front of some building in Polanco. It was a matter of life or death. By the time she arrived, the situation was already a mess. Alita was being taken away on a stretcher, but she was still alive. Becca is surprised to know that Tamara was there too, and explains that she was also there after hearing that Alita had died. But what she doesn't understand is how Tamara knew that she was still alive, and that she died in the hospital. Tamara doesn't give a proper answer to her question. They are then seen leaving the pub. While they're on the sidewalk, a man dressed in black on a motorbike starts chasing them. Confused, Becca follows Tamara's instructions and starts running with her too. At some point, they go to two separate roads, and the biker decides to chase Becca instead of Tamara. After some crazy running, Becca was able to get away from the man. The scene cuts to Humberto, who has just arrived at his house. Marifer and his son are sleeping together. He walks up to the room and looks at them and starts reminiscing about the time he spent with Becca. He told Becca that he was addicted to her. He can't live without her while Becca lies in his arms naked. Becca gets up and tells him to leave and go to his beautiful wife and kids, because if he doesn't leave now, she might ask him to stay. Humberto does leave, but he doesn't seem happy about it. The scene cuts to Tamara. She's in the club. Everyone is enjoying themselves and getting high. Tamara is also moving to the music and getting high. But Becca is busy thinking about what Tamara told her earlier. Tamara got a call from Alita that day but doesn't know how she got her number. Becca then checks her phone and finds some missed calls from an unknown number. She calls the number back, and we see Eugenio picking up a call from an unknown number. Becca cuts the call after hearing his voice. Back to Tamara. She is in the club, and her eyes catch one pair. She goes up to them and starts making out with the woman. The men also join them, and they start making out together. Meanwhile, Becca is watching all of this unfold in her dreams. She starts self-pleasuring, thinking about the intimate moments she spent with Humberto. In the morning, Humberto is seen knocking on Becca's door with coffee in his hands. Becca gives him 1 minute to tell why he came here. But Humberto starts getting comfortable, but Becca reminds him again about the time limit. Humberto starts talking about how he's very worried about Becca investigating this case. He requests her to let him help her too. Becca is confused because previously he was so worried about losing his job, and now he doesn't care at all. Humberto tells her that because he loves her a lot. He can't stop thinking about her. He then forcefully kisses her, but Becca pushes him away and kicks him out of the house. She doesn't need a distraction in these critical moments of her life. Becca then gets a call from an unknown number, and it's Eugenio. She picks up the call and hangs up after hearing his voice. Eugenio finds the other unknown number in Alita's phone and calls it. Tamara's phone starts ringing, but she's in bed with her two partners from the previous night. Meanwhile, Becca has gone to Tamara's old house and finds the woman from before. She requests her to help find Tamara. The scene changes to Becca entering an old rundown house, and she finds a little boy waiting for Tamara. The little boy mistakes her for Tamara at first, but soon realizes that she's not Tamara, so he runs away. Becca goes upstairs and finds Tamara lying in bed, naked. Meanwhile, Eugenio calls for the company's head of IT for a meeting. Back to Becca. She's telling Tamara how she was a match to Alita's DNA. Becca knows Tamara is also investigating the case. Tamara doesn't deny it, and Becca continues. She tells Tamara that she needs to know about her and Alita. Since childhood, she always felt a part of her missing. Now she must solve this mystery about them and who separated them to give them such a tragic end. Tamara, who was in the shower, can relate to what Becca is saying but pretends that she's annoyed. Back to Eugenio. He gives the IT head the two unknown numbers and tells her to get all the information on the owners of these numbers. Meanwhile, Tamara is doing her makeup, and Becca is talking with her about the situation. Tamara's adoptive mom is dead, and she never had a dad. But Becca knows from her mom that their birth mom was a teen, so she had to give them away. Tamara tells her bluntly that she's not interested in this case unless there's financial benefit that can be gained from Alita's company. Becca is confused how she knows that Alita is rich. But Tamara thinks Becca is also investigating this case for inheritance. Becca gets furious and tells her to stop. Tamara tries to calm her down. Becca asks her what she does for a living and whether she sells drugs. She also adds that there was a little boy downstairs who was asking for medicine from her, thinking she's Tamara. Becca asks her whether she sells drugs to kids too. Tamara is pretty annoyed by this point, so when her friend comes upstairs, she tells him to show Becca the way out. The scene changes to Eugenio. He's calling someone when his partner enters the room. He tells Eugenio that he's very worried about Alita and the company. She's not picking up any calls or replying to any emails. If she was on a tour like Eugenio is saying, she could have at least contacted them. The situation has become worse now because some major shareholders are plotting with another global company to take over the company forcefully. Eugenio understands what this means, and he tells him that he will make sure Alita is present in tomorrow's meeting. Meanwhile, Tamara is looking at the cutout articles about Alita. The little boy Kevin comes upstairs, which startles her. Kevin tells her about meeting Becca. Tamara tells her that she's her relative. Kevin reminds her that he's out of his medicine. Tamara gets up and leaves with Kevin to get it for him. Kevin is waiting for her on the road, and Tamara comes out of the pharmacy holding the inhaler. Kevin uses the inhaler right away, but Tamara reminds him to only use it when he's having an attack. Kevin thanks and hugs her, then leaves with the inhaler. Tamara notices a man looking at her from a car on the other side of the road. Back to Eugenio. He was watching Alita's therapy session when he gets a call from the IT head informing him that they have found her. The scene changes to Becca, who is now in the hospital trying to meet Julia. But she gets informed that Julia was released this morning. The scene cuts to Julia, who's on her way to somewhere in the car. The scene then changes to Humberto, who's in his office looking at the case files when he gets a call from Becca asking for his help to find someone. Humberto agrees to help her, and they decide to meet at her place. Meanwhile, Julia has arrived at the house. Her assistant Mila gives her the orchid that Eugenio gave Julia earlier. Julia puts it with her other plant and sprays water on them. While she's taking care of them, she gets a call. The scene cuts to Tamara, who's dancing in the club. Someone puts a note in her garter while she's dancing. The scene cuts to Becca, who has arrived at Julia's apartment complex. While climbing up the stairs, Becca starts remembering how Alita used to run up these stairs. Becca starts feeling dizzy, and when Julia opens the door, she falls into her arms. Meanwhile, Tamara is just done with the dancing when the manager tells her that she has a private client who paid for premium service for her. Even though she's a bit annoyed, she has to go. Julia, who thought Becca was Alita, looks very confused. But things get cleared when Becca shows her the DNA results of her and Alita. Julia understands Becca's side, but she can't share her patient's personal information with anyone. Becca requests her because Alita wasn't just her patient, she was Becca's sister too. Meanwhile, Tamara gets ready to meet her VIP client. She enters the private room with a seductive expression, but gets shocked when she sees that the client is none other than Eugenio. To watch more explanations of these kinds of series, click on the videos on your screen. And don't forget to let me know how you feel about today's video in the comments down below. And at last, thanks for watching.